I was at work, just working with the girls. We had a slow day, and we decided, there's not a lot of patients here. We'll train on the EKG machine because I was fairly new to that office, and mine was the most abnormal out of everybody. So I decided to take it to my regular doctor, Dr. Blazak, and he thought it would be best for me to go get an echocardiogram. When you have a person that's doing your echocardiogram and they stop mid-test, you immediately think, oh my God, something's wrong.
Jamie had a very rare cardiac tumor called a cardiac AVM. This basically was discovered serendipitously. The AVM tumor is basically a rat's nest of blood vessels. So it was stealing blood from the heart. And because it was such a large mass, it was stealing a large amount of blood flow from the heart. We found that really there was no patients we knew of other than two other patients that was found on autopsy. The feeling was without treatment, she would probably not survive.
Well, I was 30 at the time, I think. How could I die at 30?
I actually consulted around the country. No one really had any really good ideas about how to fix this. We brought her to the cardiac catheterization laboratories, and then I put 3 what they're called tornado coils, and they filled up this blood vessel, cut off its blood supply, and literally by the time I counted to 10, this mass had found more blood supply. People like to talk about it like alien. It had already recruited other blood vessels from other parts of the heart.
I was tired, I was frustrated, I just wanted this thing gone, and it just wouldn't go away.
I didn't give up. I was certainly discouraged, but I really wasn't ready to give up. Dr. Jerome is a neurosurgeon, and they perform procedures on the brain similar to how we perform procedures on the heart. So I watched him do a few procedures, and then all of a sudden I saw him start injecting this substance into a very small arteriovenous malformation in the brain, and then a light went off. I just got an idea that maybe if we could collaborate, we could maybe use some of his techniques in the heart to help Jamie. I was kind of waiting for him outside the door, and basically showed him Jamie's film, and he became excited. When 2 excited physicians get together, anything can happen.
So this is where, to Chris's credit, he realized, the way we do things in the brain may well be applicable to the heart.
Our plan was to use a substance called onyx, which basically is the equivalent of medical superglue.
Instead of blocking the supply to it, we can actually start obliterating it from the inside. We can inject sealant right into this mass of abnormal connections and slowly let the sealant ooze out and fill up all of the inputs and outputs from the deepest recesses out to its core.
I always say in medicine, we always have a blueprint. In this case, we were writing the blueprint.
When Dr. Cove spoke, he was so optimistic and he seemed so confident that I was like, okay, I'm sold.
We had to use about 40 times the amount of onyx normally used in a procedure. As we injected it, you could see this onyx find its way through all these thousands of blood vessels, and we were able to fill this whole mass up. We were pretty confident that we had killed this cardiac AVM tumor.
We have at least 10 people in that room, all as a team, and that really speaks to the nature of these complex procedures. I think that's the biggest part of this story. It's not just a cardiologist or a neurosurgeon or an anesthetist or a cardiac surgeon or a nurse or a tech. That, for us, was awe-inspiring in that room.
URMC is pretty special to me anyway, in my book, so they saved me.
She's doing great. This mass actually has shrunk. It's about half its size. We're confident at this point that this mass is dead, that it's not going to affect her long-term survival, and that she should live a normal, happy, healthy life.
My hope for the future is to hopefully be done with nursing school. I want to look into maybe working in the cath lab. I want my daughter to be healthy, my husband to be healthy, myself to be healthy, and it's the only thing I can ask for.
We get a lot of emails now. Everybody wants the medical crazy glue procedure.
I was on the London, the cover of the London version of the National Enquirer. Super glue saved my life.
I think the bigger impact is just the ability to look at devices, techniques, and tricks that are not within one's field. To have that cross-collaborative enthusiasm to reach out and learn from one's own colleagues.
As a kid, when you go into medicine, you want do something remarkable, And I'm not sure this is remarkable, but it certainly, for me, was very, very rewarding.